17th green. A move so routine, it's muscle memory. Mark, lift, replace. But this time, something's off. Not by a foot. Not even by inches. Just a hair. Nobody noticed. Not her. Not the officials. Not the fans. Until the next day, when everything changed. On Sunday, she's 2 ahead with 6 to play. And then minutes later, she's 2 shots behind. But how? 4 penalty strokes. 4. Out of nowhere. Not because of intent. Not because of an advantage. But because of something invisible until a camera froze time. No one had even noticed the tiny misplacement of her ball on Saturday. So why is she paying for it now? Hold that thought. First, let's understand what this does to a person who's mid-round, mid-fight, mid-legacy. Imagine you've spent years learning to control the controllables. Then, in a single moment, the only thing that matters is the one thing you cannot control. Her position flips from 2 up to 2 down, almost instantly. It feels like the ground shifts beneath her. Suddenly, every shot feels heavier. The ball won't answer. It just sits there and waits for the swing. Beyond the ropes, phones buzz. The crowd catches on. Commentators scramble to explain. Lexi hears the ruling, takes it in, and somehow keeps moving. There is anger. There is confusion. Worst of all, there is doubt. Did I? Did it move? How far? And why now? You'd think that was the end. It wasn't. Lexi steadies herself, takes a breath, and claws her way to the finish, all the way into a playoff. Yes, she forced a playoff. But did she win it? We'll get there. First, let's understand what that moment really set in motion. This was more than a tough ruling. It forced golf to rethink if it's fair to enforce rules when tiny mistakes come to light later. Not cheating, not gamesmanship, not intent. A technical misplacement so small it took a freeze frame to spot, and yet so large it flipped a major on its head. You're probably wondering, how did this tiny misplacement come to light a day later? Here's what happened. It didn't come from an official or an opponent. It came from a fan, watching at home. They paused, rewound, zoomed in, and sent an email. A golf tournament changed because someone hit play and said, "Wait a second." During Sunday's round, they reviewed the broadcast frame by frame, deliberated, and applied the rules as written. Then, mid-round, they informed Lexi that footage from Saturday meant 4 penalty strokes. Lexi's first reaction said a lot. When she was told about the penalty, she asked if it was a joke and made it clear she hadn't tried to gain any advantage. It was a small mistake. That became the heart of the debate. If a tiny, unintentional misplacement is only visible on slow-motion replay, should it carry the same weight as a clear, on-course breach? Do players who are on camera more face tougher scrutiny than those off-screen? And when a player uses reasonable judgment to mark and replace, how exact do we expect them to be? The backlash forced change. Within weeks, the governing bodies introduced a reasonable judgment and naked eye standard to curb video-only gotchas, and tours later shut the door on viewer call-ins. In short, the process that blindsided Lexi wasn't going to blindside the next player. Now, coming back to that Sunday playoff, how did it end? After the shock, Lexi still made birdies, steadied the hands, and dragged the tournament back to level. One extra hole later, though, the trophy went the other way. But the images that stayed weren't of a meltdown. They were of a player who refused to go away. That's the thread to keep in mind for what came next. Her next few seasons weren't a straight line, and that's okay. There were wins. There were rough Sundays. but her name kept popping up on leaderboards. You could see that she put in real work. You saw it, late on Sundays when the pressure kicked in. The question was simple. Would she be able to close when Sunday got tight? Here's your answer. In November 2018, she won the CME Group Tour Championship, which also meant that she had made 6 straight seasons with at least 1 win, the longest active streak on the LPGA at the time. A few months later, in June 2019 at the ShopRite LPGA Classic, she eagled the 18th to win by 1. So, she had LPGA wins. But what about another major after the 2017 controversy? Was she able to win one? On Sunday, at the 2021 U.S. Women's Open at the Olympic Club, she was in the hunt late and finished 1 shot shy of the playoff after a tough back 9. She had also come close in 2019 at the U.S. Women's Open in Charleston, finishing T2, 2 shots behind Jung-Gun Lee 6. And in 2022, at the KPMG Women's PGA Championship at Congressional, she led late but finished 1 shot behind In-Ji Chun. So yes, she came close, more than once, but she never quite got it over the line. What really mattered, though, wasn't how many times she came close. It was that she never stopped coming back. Here's the thing most people miss about resilience. It isn't a highlight reel. It's not a montage with dramatic music playing in the background. It's the quiet, unglamorous choice to show up again after the noise fades. For Lexi, that meant grinding through weeks where her swing felt just a little off, where her mind kept replaying the heartbreak of the past. Instead of hiding behind the frustration, she went back to work. She tweaked her grip, refined her wedges, rebuilt her routine until it was strong enough to carry all the noise without letting it steer. Because the truth is, golf's hardest battles don't happen on Sundays. They happen on random Tuesdays, when your swing feels off, when nobody's watching, when all the noise is gone but the pressure stays. So, what does Lexi Thompson's career look like after all this? It's not a single chapter, it's a body of work built on consistency, power, and persistence. Since turning professional at just 15, Lexi has earned 11 LPGA Tour titles and 1 major championship. The 2014 Chevron Championship, where she became one of the youngest major winners in LPGA history at the time. She's also represented the U.S. in 7 Solheim Cups, 4 international crowns, and even the 2021 Olympics in Tokyo. Across more than a decade on tour, she's recorded over 90 top 10 finishes, spent years ranked among the world's top 10, and surpassed $14 million in career earnings, making her one of the most successful American golfers of her generation.